Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 9. So we are around the 2-week mark out from the start of The Flash's 9th and final season, which of course, we are in that period where they are doing their, last pieces of promo material and just overall promotion leading into that season premiere on the 8th of February. Now, I don't think we are going to get another trailer or anything like that. Maybe something little, but I'd be very surprised if that happened. But like another poster or two wouldn't be too surprising, as well as some promo images for the first episode or two. Probably just the first episode, but maybe the first two. But today we're going to go over the latest piece of promo material, which does reveal a decent amount about the first episode for Season 9, and that is the synopsis or description for the episode, which of course is otherwise entitled Wednesday Ever After. So we will read it over and then break it down and sort of give any insight from what we know already from other pieces of information or just other promo stuff. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below your various thoughts on the stuff we go over and any theories and, just predictions you have. Very curious to hear what you guys have to say. And of course, you're going to enjoy the video, want to show support, looking forward to the premiere, why not drop a like on the video to show support and excitement. Barry creates a map book to guide him and Iris throughout their future in order to keep her safe, but the results are not what he expected. And instead, they relive the same day over and over again. Joe has a heart-to-heart with Cecile. A new big bad is introduced to Team Flash, and friends and foes, old and new, begin to descend upon Central City. So yeah, the first thing that's brought up in that synopsis is the whole map book thing. Now, this isn't new because the map book was introduced in the latest trailer that we got a couple of weeks back, which of course Barry is plotting future events and everything like that, which did seem weird, and Iris in the trailer was pretty like hold on, like that's a bit weird, like I'm not really on board with this, which I think is very understandable because it's like just a spoiler alert for your life. You can't experience things naturally, and maybe if Barry was going to do it, I mean, maybe keep it to yourself. But in the map book and the trailer, we do find out that like Iris gets pregnant, and I think it was 3 months from that date. I'm assuming that's in episode 1, seeing the map book's brought up. So 3 months from episode 1 is apparently when Iris finds out she's pregnant. But of course, as the synopsis does say, Barry does it so he can sort of guide him as well as Iris throughout the future, mainly in order to keep Iris safe and make sure there's no unfortunate predicaments that she gets into. Now, I do wonder whether this connects to something we also saw in the trailer, which was like Barry waking up in a bit of a nightmare thing. It makes me wonder whether he either sees like a vision or a nightmare of Iris dying, or just gets a hint of danger, and maybe that's why he plots out the map book. Almost said MacBook. Maybe that's where they got the name idea. I don't know, but that's why he plots out the map book, because he gets a fear of like something happening, whether it's soon in next year or just in the future in general. So that's probably the catalyst for it, but we'll wait and see in the actual episode when it airs. But of course, as it does say, the results are not what it's expected to be from the map book, and instead they go on to relive the same day over and over again. So it's like a Groundhog Day situation. But I do wonder whether it's a Groundhog Day situation where like it gets to a certain point and then the day resets, or if it's like a live, die, repeat type of situation. Is there a thing in the episode where Barry keeps dying, and that's why we have to relive the same day? We've seen it happen before, even on the Arrowverse. I mean, Legends of Tomorrow did it. Maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, or something like that, in like a Wave Rider type situation. Now, in this episode, we do know that the villain that was confirmed for this episode is that of Captain Boomerang, and it's pretty fitting for the day that keeps going around and coming back and sort of haunting you, that does feature Captain Boomerang as the main threat. I think that's actually pretty smart if that was intentional. So maybe what's happening in this episode is that Barry has to stop something, which we have seen in the trailer. There's like this like device, and it seems to explode when Barry goes near it. So maybe that's affecting Barry, whether it's actually killing him or taking his powers away, or maybe even killing Iris. Or there's different situations where in one situation Barry dies, in another situation Iris dies, in another situation the entire city blows up, whatever it might be, and they have to keep repeating the day until they can fix that up. And maybe this is a sign of Barry tinkering with the timeline, like he shouldn't be doing this. Now, a lot of people's thoughts around the map book was that it was playing off the thing from last season when Barry was in the still force. Remember when he sat down in the still force and sort of like meditated, if you want to call it, and was able to see the past as well as the future. He mentioned Max Mercury and everything like that. And that's where he got the information for the map book, which could be the case, but also maybe Barry even just goes ahead in time and finds out himself. Could be a bit of both, bit of a mix. But yeah, it will be interesting to see like what is the cause for this Groundhog Day and repeating the same day over and over and over again, whether it's like a death situation or it's another thing they have to solve throughout the episode. We'll wait and see, but it should be pretty fun. Now, this does mention Joe having a heart-to-heart with Cecile. Now, we know that Joe is only going to be in like 5 or so episodes, I think it is, of this 13-episode final season of The Flash, because of him being cast in another show and everything like that. So is this set up for those limited appearances? Because we know that it's not just like the first 5 episodes and then he's gone. Like, they're filming episode 10 right now, and he's on set for episode 10. So it's spread out, you know, throughout the entire season, and you'd assume that Joe would also be in the series finale in episode 13. So they're going to have to set up where Joe just sporadically appears throughout the season and not consistently. So maybe this is what's going on. I know on the set photos that came out, which we might do in another video if they're even worth going over, that Joe looks like he's back on like the beat, like he's just wearing like a normal cop outfit by the looks of it. So I'm not too sure if that means like that's the reason for this. Maybe he's elsewhere within like maybe he's in Keystone City or something and he's appointed there. I'm not too sure how it's going to work and how they're going to explain Joe not showing up that often. But yeah, because you think if Joe was away, so would Cecile. But I think they're going to keep Cecile on the show consistently. So they're going to have to explain where Joe goes throughout those absences between episodes and appearances. But as the synopsis does say, and this surprised me, it does say a new big bad is introduced to Team Flash. Now, this surprised me. I was like, okay, so in episode 1, this isn't a season synopsis. This is episode 1 synopsis. So when they say like the new big bad's introduced, are they talking about Red Death? Or is this going to be the Rogues as the big bad? As it then does say like friends and foes, old and new, begin to descend upon Central City. Now, of course, we know the Rogues is made up of some familiar looking characters from previous seasons, as well as some new iterations of older characters, which sort of lines up with the old and new. But maybe this could be like literally towards the end of the episode where all this happens. So for like 90% of the episode, we're going through all this map book stuff and this, you know, live, die, repeat or whatever type, you know, Groundhog Day situation is going to be for Barry and Iris. But then right at the end, they start to play out like, you know, the Rogues, big bads, more villains, returning faces, everything like that. Now, it does say friends and foes, not just foes. Now, we haven't heard anything, I don't think, about like returning characters in episode 1 or 2 from memory. So I'm very interested to see who they could be talking about here. But then again, it might be someone like low-key, like not ridiculously exciting, but someone that we haven't seen on the show for a bit. So that's a wait and see. Now, the interesting thing about them showing up at the end is that episode 2 for this season is called Hear No Evil, where we presume that Murmur will be the focus of that episode, while there could be other villains that show up in the episode as well. But then episode 3 is called Rogues of War, which makes you wonder whether like this is where the Rogues do form and we get some big battle between the Flash and them. Now, we did have that shot in the trailer with Barry, obviously as the Flash, chained up in front of all or at least most of the Rogues. It could be more than these ones here, but I think this is just going to be the Rogues group there. But there is the general theory that the Rogues have this opening 3 episodes where it builds up to this Rogues of War episode and there's all this fun stuff that goes on with them. But then it like interconnects, that's the word, with the Red Death storyline, which could be playing on maybe at the same time or maybe in episode 3 as well. So maybe the end of episode 2, you know, or at the end of episode 1, we get the Rogues sort of like appearing or like the hinting at them coming together. Then like we get more stuff in episode 2 with them building, and then at the end of episode 2, there's maybe like a Red Death tease, and then episode 3 plays out where it's mostly Rogues versus Flash, but then you get a full-on Red Death reveal. That's what a lot of people think is probably going to be the case. So it's like interconnected in a way, sort of like playing on at the same time, but it's just not connected properly until maybe the end of episode 3 or maybe the start of episode 4, because episodes 4 and 5 are the Mask of the Red Death 2-parter, and I think it's been confirmed that episode 5 is the last episode that Red Death was seen on set. So it definitely does seem that like this season's going to be getting off in a very hectic manner, like pretty fast paced for the most part, with a lot of stuff going on leading up to that 5th episode and all that Red Death stuff. And then it might be like that 6, 7, 8 where it takes like not a complete stop, but it slows down and maybe does some like character stories to lead them into the end of the the end of the season as well, which will play off as the end of the series to sort of wrap up the characters, which I don't mind as long as it's not just like, you know, you're going 100 kilometers an hour and then you put your foot on the brake and slam it down and you're going 20. But I am looking forward to seeing how they handle this, because you got two things that people have been waiting for: the Rogues as well as Red Death finally happening in this final season of The Flash, but all happening within a short amount of time, if not lining up together as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. But also just the whole returning aspect, both on the friend side and the foe side, I think could create a pretty cool environment. But also, now that I think about it, when it says friends and foes, old and new, coming back, I just realized that in the trailer it also had Barry talking to Goldface, Pied Piper, the Hotness, and well, Chillblain's already there on the show. So those three of Hotness, Pied Piper, and Goldface, they could be the returning friends. Now I just remember that, so maybe they won't be as exciting as some might think. So, I mean, Pied Piper's cool, but the other two I just don't really care for too much. But that's a wait and see. We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on to show your support. Let me know in the comments section down below your various thoughts and opinions and everything like that. Always curious where you guys are thinking. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. And goodbye.